we're going to get started. So today I really wanted to dive into the Elite and Premier program with you guys, because sometimes I think that it seems like this far off thing that no one can get to. And honestly, you guys, I went Premier my first year of coaching, and then of course my last 2 years I've been Elite. And I want you to know, in the grand scheme of a lot of top teams in Beachbody, we're really, really small. So our downline is about 516, I think it was the last time. I'm not even sure. I don't know the numbers, but that's like a pretty small downline. So it has a little bit to do where I'm placed in Amy and Brian's downline. So there's not a lot of additions to our team from our uplines team. So it really just us. So lots of those top teams like have 70,000 coaches, like thousands and thousands and thousands of coaches in their downline. I want you to know that that isn't what you have to have. You have to have a core group of people that really love this. And I want to really instill that in you guys. This is not about having massive amounts of people on the team, asking massive amounts of people to be coaches. What was the other thing that I was going to say there? Like, you don't, or spending like every single minute of your day coaching. It does not have to be like that to reach these points, or these what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God, my head is like all over the place today. But these ranks or these special opportunities that are open to all of us here. So I don't want you guys to look at Elite and Premier and all the stars and all that stuff and think, oh my gosh, there's just no way I'm going to be able to do that, because Michelle has this humongous team and she lives and breathes Beachbody, and I'm just never going to be able to do that. That is 100% not the truth. Okay? Not the truth. We have a very small team, but what we have is a lot of heart. Right now, there's 25 people on this call on a Saturday morning wanting to be here, wanting to learn. That's a big deal. I know that there's teams that have thousands of coaches and there's like 8 people on their team calls. So they don't have the same heart. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you guys realize that it's very achievable for anyone. You could have just signed up to be a coach yesterday, and it is achievable, Premier and Elite. What I am not going to do today is go through all the mathematics of Elite. After the call, I'm going to upload this recorded call to our team page. I am going to post one video and one PDF that, if you are serious about this stuff and it's like lighting a fire in you, you need to go look at that. You need to connect with your coach, and we need to make a plan. Okay, so part of Elite and Premier is reverse engineering how we're going to do it. But I believe the bigger part is the fundamentals of this business that you should be doing anyways that will get you there. And I will 100% tell you that's how I got there last year. Because trust me, last year, my dad died Christmas Day, and Arno, my friggin' guy, corporate guy, wanted to talk to me a week later and wanted me to reverse engineer Elite. And what I told him was, my goal this year is to actually survive. It is nothing to do with Elite. If I get through this year alive and I still have a team, I will consider that a win. So all I did last year was put a lot of heart into this business. I found my joy. I found what made me happy, and I did that every day. And that's truthfully what you need to do to get to those big goals. Yes, there's a little bit of math involved. You need to know the steps. And I'm going to give you a couple little tips. So to be an Elite coach, you need to have 5 people become a diamond coach on your team, because you have to be a 5-star coach to be Elite. To be a Premier coach, which, by the way, is so achievable for anyone on this call. Elite elite is tougher. It's hard. It is hard to find 5 people that really want to do this like you do. But finding 2 isn't as hard. And if this is a goal, you connect with your upline or connect with me and we'll break it down, because it's actually very simple to get to 2-star. You need 2 people to become diamond coaches this year. You need to be a 2-star coach. There's a lot of numbers involved in elite. You have to reach a certain success club number. Your coaches have to reach a certain success club numbers, and this all gives you points. But I don't want you guys to get wrapped up in all these points and trying to figure out a graph and spreadsheet of how you're going to make this happen, because all you need to do is the stuff that we tell you to do every single day. Your first priority is to hit Success Club yourself. Okay, so Success Club is always going to be that first priority. If you're doing that, you're on the road to Premier, you're on the road to Elite, you're on the road to earning an income. Let's be basic. That's why we're all here, right? If you're earning Success Club, you're on the road to making a business. There are 3 areas that I think you need to focus on to be a successful coach, to hit Premier, or to hit Elite. Are you guys ready for it? Get your pens, papers out. This is super important information. So important. Number 1, your journey. If you are falling off the wagon time and time again, if I am scrolling my Facebook feed and I see, well, there we go, Alicia had another bad weekend. Oh gosh, she fell off the weekend again, or she fell off the wagon again. She had more treats again. And you know, Alicia, I'm not talking about you. I'm just throwing a name out there. You not only are is that ridiculous? Come on, you're a coach. This is part of your job. But number 2, guess what type of people you're going to attract? People that fall off the wagon. That's who you're going to attract. Your team is going to be full of people that fall off the wagon. So what happens then is you need a huge amount of coaches to find those few coaches that are actually going to do this. If you stay consistent to your journey, you're going to attract people that love consistency, that love seeing results, that have a passion for something, and then they can grow into having a passion for coaching. Number 1, no matter what I tell you all the rest of the year, you need to focus on your journey. And I'm telling you, you guys, right now, you have an opportunity that I have not yet had in this business. We have 80-day obsession, and it is going to be huge. It's a golden ticket. I am not kidding you. It is a golden ticket. I was not here for the 21-day fix crazy. 21-day fix was a program already launched long before I was a coach. I have not ever been through something that is huge. This program has sold more than any other Beachbody program, and it hasn't even launched yet. Do you get the magnitude of that? If you get results and share and are consistent with this program, your business will blow up. It's just it's impossible for it to not. If you have fallen off the wagon for time and time and time again, if you've been here almost as long as I have and nothing seems to have clicked, for God's sakes, just do this program. Just friggin' commit to it. Make it your job. That is going to get you to elite in itself, because you're going to be consistent. Your challengers are going to be so into this because you're into it. As we get going and you get sharing this 80-day progression, you're going to attract more people. Your Success Club numbers are going to keep growing because people are going to want to do this, but it's up to you. Number 1 tip to getting to elite or premier is you. Only you. Your journey. Number 2 is your challengers. Your challengers are like the pot at the end of the rainbow. If you put you guys, if you're here and you're truthfully here for the right reasons, your challengers should mean something to you. You should have a strong desire to help them. Like, I want my challengers, when I go into my group with a live video, I want the comments full of them saying, thank you. Oh my God, that made that so much easier. I was so stressed out. Thank you for sharing that. I want to check in with them and see how they're doing. I want my eyes to well up with tears when they tell me they lose 10 pounds. If you put your heart and soul into your challengers, they're going to become us. They are going to love this. They're going to want to do this too, because honestly, they aren't going to want to lose you and your friendship. They're going to want to stay. I say the word contagious all the time because that's what happens. And then if they don't want to, they love you so much that they are sending you their cousins and their moms and their friends and their pen pals from grade 2. Like, they're sending you everybody because they love you so much. Number 2 step to getting to elite and premier is your challengers. Number 3 is your coaches, which I think you probably is surprising, right? That coaches is at the end of the list. Of course, you have to have coaches. Like, to get to elite, you need coaches. You have to keep filling your downline. And that's the math of this. There are certain requirements. Okay, so to be a diamond coach, you need 8 coaches. To be a 1-star, you need 10. To be a 5-star, you need, I don't even know. I don't know the numbers. I want to share with you guys that I'm not a numbers person. So if you're sitting there with a graph to getting to elite, well, that's not how I've done it. So you can get there on heart and a little bit of brain power, but you just have to know the information and you have to check your downline and stuff like that. So you need coaches. You need coaches. You need to build your team. You need a team. If you have done number 1 and number 2, your coaches are going to follow suit. Then all you have to do is be their leader and be the leading example and share with them what you're doing and work as a team. And that's what we have done. We are like a team that works together every single day. I want you guys to create that too. I want you guys to create your own team that joins this team, but you're your own team doing things and supporting each other to your goals. Okay, so clearly, I want the people that have been here for a year, I want you to go back and look at your Success Club average. So I feel that there's number 1 step to getting to Premier or Elite. And the first step is looking at your funnel. So go to the last year. You can go all the way back to February, I believe, of last year. Take your Success Club numbers and find your average. If your average is less than 10, there's something wrong with your funnel. You don't need to think about anything else except your funnel. You don't need to think about anything beyond that because that's what needs to be fixed. You need to average that Success Club 10 a month to be hitting the right numbers for elite. So you need to look at your strategy. What's happening? You're not connecting with the right people. You're not asking enough people. You're not inviting. There's always something that's not clicking. You're not sharing your journey. You're not being consistent on your journey. Like, there's always something. And I think if you sit and ask yourself truthfully, you can probably figure out the answer. If you can't, like, if you honestly feel like, what's going on here? Connect with your coach. That's why we have calls with you guys. And P.S., I love, and this is funny that I would say this because was not my favorite part at one point in time, but I love having calls with you guys. But I would much rather you guys message me and say, you know what, I want to call. I want to talk about this. I want to figure this out because it tells me that you're in it. When I go and write on the message thread, okay, I'm going to do some calls, it feels like I'm your boss and you're all like, oh, okay, Michelle wants to have a call, or Megan wants, Darlene, or whoever wants to have a call. I would way rather you guys reach out and say, you know what, something's not right, or you know what, Premier is my goal. Damn it, I'm going to do that. Can you help me figure this out? I think the other leaders on the team would say the same thing. We would much rather you guys reach out to us, because that tells us, friggin' right on, this girl is in it. Like, she wants to do this. When it's us like kind of pulling and prodding, we're never sure who's really wanting to do this. So, you know, if there's something wrong with your funnel, you feel like there's something wrong with your funnel, let's talk about it and let's try to figure it out. Be open enough to let us into your conversations. Sometimes it's like one little sentence that you say over and over again that could be turning people off, or, you know, it's sometimes a really simple fix. Sometimes not. Sometimes it takes a little while to work through things. But, you know, if you start with that first, your journey, you probably will see, if you take a really good look at that. That's always pretty key. Okay, so if you are hitting Success Club 10, so if you find that your average was 10, that's good. That's awesome. So now you need to look at that downline, and you need to look at the people that would be your potential diamonds. So to go for 2-star, so if you're sitting right now and you're like kind of close maybe to diamond yourself, you need to get yourself to diamond, clearly. Like, that's like number one job. You need to get people into your downline and get to be a diamond coach. And then you start working, you start looking through those people. Now, who do you think would be a coach? Like, who do you think would do this? Who would have the heart and the passion to do it? And that's where you start. You literally go to your downline, or even if you don't have people in your downline yet, like I'm just looking at some people that are brand new here. Do you have some people in your life that you think might do this? That's where you start. You start asking people and sharing your journey and sharing why you're excited about this, and get it on Insta stories. Like, why is it cool to be surrounded by inspiring women? You start sharing all that stuff and it happens. It will start to happen. So that's really, like, honestly, to break it down, that is literally what you need. You need that heart to get to elite and premier. The specifics are, if you can think about yourself hitting Success Club every month is a non-negotiable, and you really need to be hitting Success Club 10. And having 2 coaches. And I'm telling you, the requirements are so friggin' easy now. Like, I don't want to say that because maybe like I'll jinx myself. I won't do it myself next year, but the requirements beyond the diamond stuff are really, really simple now. If you can have 2 of your coaches hitting Success Club as well, it used to be like 4 or 5. And I remember saying to Arno, my God, I can hardly get anyone to get this is impossible. I can't get anyone to do anything right now. How am I going to get 5 people to Success Club 5? That seems like so hard. And now it's 2. So if you can find 2 people that really want to do this with you, honestly, that's what it takes to get some of those points built up. Now there's a new category, all your new people that join you. So new coaches that join you in 2018. If they sell 1 challenge pack in their first month or their second month, 1 challenge pack, talk to me who that challenge pack could be. You could get their husband to buy Recover. You know, like, it's so simple to get some points, and you can get 25 points. So at the end of the day, to get to elite or premier, you have to earn 105 points. And that's why I'm going to just share the documents with you so you guys can go through this yourself. But you have to get 105 points, and they're broken up, but they're all Success Club related. And that's what I want you to remember. It really is Success Club related. And I believe if you're doing the activities to get to Success Club, so will your coaches. They really will. They'll push for it. They really, truly will. You are the leader of your pack. What you do, they do. If you're on your journey and you're consistent, they're going to be. If you're hitting Success Club and you're consistent, they're going to be. Like it's like simplest. It's really simple, but you know, you have to do it. The hardest part is yourself. And that's why that's the number one. So there's different categories to get to these 105 points, and they're all broken down. So your new coaches that join you in 2018, if they sell one challenge pack in their first month or their second month, you are going to get a point. So that, like, you can certainly help, like that's their best friend or their cousin or their sister or whatever, to earn that 1 point. And the rest of it is honestly how much retail you're doing. The points are really gathered by how much retail you're doing, how many, you know, getting to that Success Club 10 number. The hardest part about getting to success, or getting to elite or premier, is finding two people with passion that want to get to diamond as well. That's usually where why they don't make it. You know, most of the time you have your points if you're really liking this business. You know, if you like helping people, you're getting your challenge groups full, the points happen without much thought. It's the finding people that want to become diamond coaches, because that's the non-negotiable. You have to have 2 new diamond coaches to hit elite or premier. There's lots of specifics, like where you're going to place things. For Megan, the only reason she did not get elite was placement. She did everything she needed to do and more, but one coach was in a wrong spot. And that's why, if this is something that's important to you and you think you should make it your goal, like, why not? Like, what's the big deal if, you know, you didn't do it? Like, it's not a big deal next January that it didn't happen, but you pushed for it. So connect with us and we will break it down, and we'll make sure things go where they need to go for your goals. I think Megan at the end of the day would say how it all worked out. Sure, she doesn't get the elite thing, but she's premier, which is amazing. And for her goals, everyone is where they need to be. And we all have different goals. And that's why you need to do this with your coach. It can't be all discussed on a team call. Okay. And the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the power of part-time. So anyone that was at Super Saturday or our Super Saturday, Keisha Fitzgerald, she did a little blurb on the power of part-time. So, and it resonated. I listened to Keisha at Leadership when I was in Vegas, and she did the same thing there. And I've really paid a lot of attention to it since I came home from Leadership, because I think sometimes you guys look at me and you do, because a lot of you weren't around. Well, in fact, none of you were around when I signed up. None of you. I was here by myself doing my own silent team calls. You don't really know my journey, right? You don't know my first 6 months. And I mean, it was very part-time. Like, I worked 12-hour days, 6 days a week. I had a 2-year-old. I had a really sick dad. Like, I mean, my life was incredibly different than it looks right now. I did not come into this thinking this was really going to happen. I like dreamed of it. I joke around that when I was cutting people's hair, I was like dreaming of telling them I was going to quit, but it was a far off dream. It was not something that I really necessarily thought was going to happen. But in the process of part-time, I fell in love with being a coach. So in that process, I didn't start out like, oh my God, I want to make 6 figures and sell my business and retire my husband. And like, that's not how I started. I started like, I want to help a couple clients because they keep bugging me and asking me what program I'm doing. So why wouldn't I make some commission and get 25% off? And this is kind of fun to run this little challenge group. Oh, and another client wants to do it with me. Okay, this is cool. Oh, so you can get to Emerald. So it built up to what it is. It built up to me staying up all night to be a coach. I didn't do that at first. So I started very part-time. I got here by blocks of 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, building on each other. And I think what happens is you guys look at me now, or maybe Megan or whoever, and you think, oh my God, like she does this night and day. This is all she does. And you tap out. You tap out early because you think, well, I don't want to do that. I can't do that. Like I can't fit that into my life. And you don't have to be like that. You don't have to be like that to be successful. You have to be consistent. I was always consistent, but I wasn't doing it 9 to 5. My God, like I was maybe spending an hour at tops a day because that's all I had. I didn't have any more time, and I didn't really want to at first. But then I started finding the joy in it. It made me so happy. I mean, I literally couldn't wait to get up early because I wanted to do it. And more, I hated going to my job. And I really thought, well, maybe I could do this. But that all built up on part-time. So I think what's happening is a lot of us, when we're sharing the coaching opportunity, we're scaring people. We're making them think, oh my gosh, like, God, do we have to do all of that? Like she is constantly posting her selfie on social media and she is all over the place. And, oh, I don't want to do that. That seems like, no, thank you. That is not something I want to do. And it doesn't have to be like that. Part-time hustle, that's like pretty sexy actually. Like I have a job and I have this other thing that lets me have a manicure every week. And I have this other thing that lets me shop at Lululemon whenever I want. That's cool. Yesterday, I posted on the team page, and I was very specific. I wanted to talk to people that made between $25 and $150. Do you know the answers? And so what happened is they dropped an emoji, and I messaged all of them. In 5 words or less, I needed to know what that did for them. I don't care if it was 25 or it was 150. I wanted to know what it did for them. People bought their kids boots. What is that, like a post? How many moms, even myself, I look at these kids' winter boots and I'm like, my God, they're going to wear them for like 6 months and they're costing me $150. This is insane. Kids' boots, a battery for a car, half of her groceries. 2 people went and got manicures and booked massages. Kid's birthday party. My favorite had to be Alicia's, and she just said one word, Lululemon. And I said to her, I hope you got 25% off, and she didn't. So side note, if you shop at Lululemon, coaches can get 25% off. That's a whole other thing. But it was amazing. It was amazing to hear what can happen from coaches that are just adding $50 to their week. That's the kind of thing you need to share. Stop scaring people away. And for yourself too. You don't have to be doing this night and day. If there's anything that I have taken away from last year, was we need to learn how to work smarter, not harder. There's a lot of things we did last year that, they were right at the time, but they're not right now. We don't need to be killing ourselves in our message boxes. We don't need to do that. What I really want from you guys is to find the thing about this that makes you happy. Because when you're happy, you're not going to get burnt out. I've had way too many coaches quit just because they've got burnt out. Myself included. I mean, there's been times when I have just had to tap out because it's been too much. And when I look at it, it's because I started doing things that didn't give me joy, that didn't make me happy. I want a team full of happy coaches that love waking up to do this. And we're all different. I mean, what makes me happy is not going to make the next person happy. I mean, I'll use Megan just because I know her really, really well as a perfect example. Megan loves messaging people. Like she loves talking to people and messaging them. I friggin' no thank. Like I like talking to my challengers. I like talking to the people that I know well. I love talking to someone, you know, the person that you message and you just instantly know you are going to get along awesome. Like you just like, there's just something. I pour every ounce into a person like that. I do not want to talk to 25 people that irritate me. No, thank you. Like, no thanks. I love graphics and, you know, branding myself, which new brand happened for me in January. Like that's my thing. I love it. And that's the cool thing about coaching. There's all these different things that you can make your own. And it can make you so happy that you want to keep doing this. But I want you to know that you don't have to be living and breathing Beachbody. Beachbody should be giving you life, not taking it away. Jeff Hill said that to me the first Success Club trip I went on. He said, Beachbody should be adding to your life, not taking it away. And that has resonated with me because it's really true. This should be adding joy, adding income, adding confidence, not like making you want to like this is crazy and burning yourself out. So I also feel like you're going to be able to attract more coaches if you start talking in that direction. Stop making it so scary. It's like part-time. It's like fun. It's like you don't have to be, you know, even if you're doing things for half an hour a day, whatever time people have, it's fine. Stop making it scary, because I think that's what's happened. You kind of start looking at where people are at. You forget how they got there. Does that make sense? Okay, so when I post this up, I'm going to share with you the Elite Guide. I'm going to show it to you quickly and like really quickly go through it. The Elite Planning Guide. So that's where the kind of math comes in, the not fluffy stuff like I talk about. It's more the math. So if you want to actually go through that, that's when you need to connect with your coach and we'll walk you through that. There's a video. How do you make money? What do you mean, Robin? I'm just seeing your comment, Robin. What do you mean? I'm trying to figure out what to say when people answer my stories. How do you make money? Okay. Sorry, I didn't see the first part.
Yeah, so they're asking.
How do you make
money? Okay. I have a girl asking me right now.
How do you make money?
And she's just like, how do you make money? I have a baby at home. And I'm like, just sharing my journey, creating a team of passionate coaches. If you're ready for a lifestyle change, this is for you, that kind of stuff.
I mean, I keep it pretty basic when I'm first talking to people. And I always just say, well, our source of income is retail. Your first source of income when you're a coach is through retail sales. I mean, she's looking for an answer. Like she's looking like, how the hell do you make some money? And sharing your journey and like that lingo doesn't make any sense. Like, what the hell do you mean? Like, they don't get that right now. And that's something else that you should think about. Stop talking so much business lingo and think more like bestie lingo. Like in your posts, people don't get share your journey. Like they don't get terms like that. We get it because we live and breathe it. But the normal person thinks that sounds ridiculous. So kind of break it down. But I mean, she's asking the question, how do you earn money? The first source of income is selling retail products. You make 25% off anything you sell. I mean, that's really what I would say to her. You do not need to get into, then you build a team and you get team volume, because that's shit they don't get. I hardly get it. You know, like you just got to keep it simple. But truthfully, sending, like if she's to the point of asking about income, I would go and send a video to her to break it down a little bit more. Yeah, Megan will help you with that. She's probably messaging you right now. Yeah, there's some good videos that do a lot better explaining. So guys, honestly, when I have people interested in a challenge, like if we've got to the point to talk about a challenge pack, or we've got to the point that they're asking questions about coaching, video, it's going to do a lot more than me rambling on about nothing. And there's amazing videos in the back office. Amazing. Go to Shareable Media in your coach online office. And there's like the first one that pops up about Team Beachbody gets people very fired up. I love it. It's such a good video. It's short. It's like 2 minutes. You don't need to get into real all details until you know, like, why are they really interested? Like, are they really interested, or are they just tooting your horn? Like, you need to have a good conversation with them. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to share the Elite PDF. I'm going to share a video from Kim Carver, who breaks down Elite and Premier really, really, really well. So watch that. And then I'm also going to share the video from Leadership that Kasia, I don't know how to say her name. I think that's right. Kasia did, which is awesome. I think you guys should watch it because it really shares how she has her coaches really thinking part-time. And I think you guys should think that way as well, because you're going to be a lot happier. 2018 is going to be fun and bring you joy instead of like making you want to scratch your eyeballs out. Okay? And be successful. Like, that's what we want. Like, oh my God, if any of you feel like getting to diamond or being 2-star or being 5-star, that's what we want for you. That's what I want for you. Like, I want to help you get there. It is no fun, trust me, being the only elite coach at the elite party. It's not fun at all. I want more of us there if that is your goal. So we will break it down and make it happen. I mean, we'll work together and make it happen. Okay, any questions?
Michelle, I'll just share something quick. And I kind of talked about it on my call on Thursday night, but I think like moving forward with whatever your goals are, whatever you want to do with this business, you have to have a vision of what it is you want it to do for you. And like a short-term vision and a long-term vision. And something that I wish I would have shared, like, I think because I know so much more now about how to share our story on social media that maybe I didn't know when I started. But when I really jumped into this business, the things that like fueled me to keep going and to keep working this were like small things. Like what I shared on the team call on Thursday night with my coaches is I envisioned being able to have my kids get the hot lunch every week at school. Like that was just something that I wanted to be able to do. And I saw like my sisters doing that for their kids. And it was just something that I never made a priority for us in our household. And it just seems like an extra expense that maybe wasn't necessary. But it was just one of those things that I wanted to be able to do without it being a source of stress or pulling away from part of our income that month, right? And I never shared that kind of stuff on social media. Like I never shared that like happening. And now, like when I got to the point where I just signed all my kids up for hot lunch every week and wrote the check every month for it, I never shared that. And I think that had I done that, that would have spoken to so many people in my market. Like how many moms would love to be able to afford the hot lunch every week, or not even like afford it, but just be able to do that and it not be a big deal. And I didn't share that kind of stuff. And I wish I would have. I didn't share those small victories, I think, because I didn't want anybody to know at that time that that was something that I was struggling with doing, or just like the whole living paycheck to paycheck thing. I didn't really necessarily share that at the time. I share it now, but I think it's so important to share where you're at and what Michelle said, the $25 paycheck or the $150 paycheck, like what did that really do for you? Like be vulnerable and real and share how like freaking cool that was to get that paycheck and like what it did for you. It doesn't have to be $1,000 paycheck for it to hit home with people. A $50 paycheck or $150 paycheck is going to really speak to your audience, and that's what's going to just like get them fired up to see what they could do as well. So I just wanted to share that.
That's awesome, Megan. But what I want you guys to hear, what she said was her vision. I could afford hot lunches for Delaney. So that's not my crowd. you guys really need to figure out who your people are. You need to know who you're talking to. Your vision is your vision. Do not get looking at what other people's vision is or what other people are sharing. You need to figure out who your people are. So for me, it was about fulfillment. It was about finding friends. It was about community. It wasn't about affording anything because I had a really successful business. It would look like I was lying. Like, oh, Michelle, that makes no sense. Like, come on. So you have to really tune into your story. And this is like totally now getting off topic and blah, it's going to go on and on forever. We could do like a whole other call. But you really have to figure out your story and why you are coaching. Like, what is it that is keeping you here? Why are you here on Saturday morning listening to this? Why are you doing this? Like, what is your goals, your vision? I mean, that's what we talked about the last couple of weeks. We've over-talked goals and vision. And you have to be vulnerable and share it. I mean, I wish I could have, sort of similar to Megan, I wish I could have talked more about not liking what I was doing. Unfortunately, I couldn't because I was in a very public business. I couldn't all of a sudden start publicizing that I wanted to stab people with my scissors. But I wish I could have, because that's how I was feeling. I was so like, everybody's laughing. You maybe haven't heard that, Nicole, but that's what I did. I imagined when someone was bugging me, like they wanted a new haircut, I was like, oh my God, I just want to stab this person. Like, I do not.
Oh, I do the exact same thing all the time.
Exactly. And I mean, you're in the same thing as me. It's not like you can publicly say that. But those are the things that I can say now that my salon is closed. And I have hairdressers reach out to me all the time. Oh my God, that's exactly how I feel, or whatever. So if you can share it early, like the Costco bill, I remember Megan doing and I wished I could do a post like this at the time, pulling out her Costco bill and saying, I paid this with Beachbody. Or Alicia just saying, you know what, going to Lululemon and buying all these new clothes I might not have done before, but now I can. Those are the things that are going to resonate. Michelle, you bought your boys boots. I don't know if it's two boys, girl and boy. Like, my God, that is amazing story. I hope you made a post about it. Like, I made a post about your stuff. That's why I did it. It was totally selfish because I can't say stuff like that anymore. It makes no sense. So share it now. Share that this is just like a part-time hustle that's bringing you joy, making you happy, and allowing you to have a few extras that are pretty damn awesome. The more vulnerable you are, and that's one thing I was from day one, extremely vulnerable. I was okay with sharing. It catapults your success. 100% does. Okay, I'm sure this has like gone on forever. Any other questions, guys? Yeah, Nicole?
I know there's InstaZoot out there, and I have to talk to Darlene more about this, but I'm now tapping out of my warm market, and like I have no more people to reach out to. And I have to be really careful because I can't just post stuff publicly. So I'd love to figure out how to get out to more people without publicly putting it out there. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think InstaZoot is great, but do you have a like page, Nicole? No.
A like page, that's a public page, right? I can't.
So I'm just wondering if you could have a like page just to run ads from, so you could connect with people. Let me think about it.
Yeah, because I can't
post on it.
I can't. That's why my group right now is closed.
So on InstaZoot, can you post on an Instagram page? No, you can just do stories.
I can do stories and I can say, hey, like I'm show that I'm working out and show that I'm happy. I can't talk about me having a part-time job at all. I can't show. I'm being very careful about the Shakeology stuff because I want to show it. But I'm nervous because I know that my bosses are watching what I'm posting. And so if they see me saying, oh, look at me drinking a shake, I I just have to be very, I can't do that.
Super careful.
Yeah.
InstaZoom is probably your, yeah, you can block, you probably have blocked people, have you? Like blocked your bosses on Insta stories?
No, because I've been watching what I've been posting on Insta stories, so I don't think I've been that bad on Insta stories, and they haven't said anything, but I know they're watching, just because I had to have a conversation to let them know that I'm doing stuff, and they're like, well, they told me flat out that they're watching.
Yeah. So Robin just said you can block certain stories. Like, could you do that? Like not block them, but block certain stories? Like say you did do a coaching story, you can actually customize and block who sees it. I mean, that's not even answering your question. Your question is, where do you find more people? And I think InstaZoom would work because I don't think the people that so I have an automatic message on InstaZoom that goes to people. Like it's all this filtered system. I don't think they really answer my message because they looked at my posts. I think they just answered the message. I don't think there's actually any relation to my page and them answering the post. So InstaZoom might be something for you to try. Because you probably have yourself and some kids stuff on your page, like things that other moms and your market would be interested in, that would at least let them know, okay, this lady is like normal. If they do go to your page, you know what I mean? I mean, we don't want our pages to be too salesy anyways. In fact, on my Instagram, if I do something like help wanted, or I often take it off. Like I'll put it up and I'll leave it up for like a week and then I'll get rid of it. And I know some of my friends from different teams, they put it up and take it off right away. Like put it up 6 hours, take it away. Because they don't want their page to look at all salesy. Let me think about it a little bit, Nicole, but I think InstaZoom Jar might, do you think? That might be the ticket, because Facebook like page, yeah, that's just going to be silly. You'd only be able to share quotes and like, it'd just be dumb. So I think InstaZoom might be your, especially if you're rocking Insta stories, like if you love that, that's where I'm finding new people all the time, is Insta stories. But I think they're coming from like InstaZoom, they get onto my account and then they get onto my stories. Like I think that is the funnel. I haven't actually quite figured out where people are coming from, to be honest. But those stories, everybody, those stories, like message those people that are watching your stories. Those are new people to talk to every day. You know, those are new people. So, and then you're never out of your warm market, guys. Your warm market never dies. If you're doing the fundamental stuff every single day, your warm market is going to bring in more people that become warm. Like it honestly does not go away. Referrals become your warm market. The person you meet for the first time today becomes your warm market. Like your warm market never, ever goes away if you're doing the right stuff. If you're building relationships with people every single day, your warm market just keeps on rolling. It's like that ball. That's why we try to make sure you guys are building new relationships from day one, because we realize your cousins and sisters and best friends run out, you know, but it doesn't mean you can't make a new best friend and a new friend, and they become your warm market. So if you keep that, I know I use this really annoying analogy all the time, but it is like a snowball. If you take that little ball that you start with when you become a coach and you keep rolling it and rolling it and rolling it, it just becomes giant. It just keeps growing because you keep it rolling. It's like the compound effect. That's why that's one of our, even though it's a boring book, it's still like, it's got all the info in it. It makes sense with this business. It just grows and grows and grows if you stay consistent. Someone I want to kind of shout out is Shelby. I kind of want to share her little story here because I think all of us that know Shelby really well, she had a tough summer. So she decided to sort of take a break. And she didn't tell me she was taking a break, but I'm pretty intuitive. I know when people aren't on the calls, all of a sudden they're not answering things in the message thread. So I knew she was tapping out. What she did not stop, guys, was her social media. Terry is my social media guy. So he watches all of you all the time. And he would tell me, Shelby's still doing it. She's still posting every single day. And because she even took a break from messaging and her passion sort of dwindled a little bit, she needed to just refocus. But she continued posting and sharing her journey. This month, when she decides to give it again, like she's in it 100%, she has major vision, major goals that I know she's going to get to. She hit Success Club, she signed 3 coaches, and it is a direct reflection of staying consistent with social media. I will hands down tell you that is why I've been able to get to my goals, because I've never, ever taken a day off, ever. People knew when I was standing in the funeral line of my dad's funeral. Like, that is how consistent I have been. And that's what Shelby did. And it just shows that, you know, you can back off a little bit. You don't have to be in the message box 24 hours a day. You need to be consistent where you find joy. And she loves posting. She loves her stories. So she just kept doing that, and it paid off. So kudos to Shelby. But it's just like a example of, you know, that kind of part-time hustle. She was like less than part-time. She just did social. And she still, when she got back into it and started messaging people, they were there because they'd been watching her journey. So if social's your thing, it can be a really good thing. Anyways, I'm out. Anyone else? Questions, comments? Who's all going for a premiere? Okay, I hope so. Come on, people. All right, that's awesome. Bye, guys. Happy Saturday.